This diagram contrasts two different approaches to processing information. On the left, we have the architecture of a standard large language model. It relies on a static dataset, processing tokens until it reaches a softmax text decoder, which calculates probabilities to select a discrete text token. This decoding process creates a hard boundary. The system's output is cut off from any physical consequence. It generates text, but it cannot sense the impact of that action on a physical environment. It acts, but it does not interact. Biology, by contrast, operates without abstract symbols. Biological intelligence relies on continuous physical transduction from the environment. The system and its surroundings are part of a single, continuous feedback loop. We can trace this biological loop to its physical hardware. The frontal lobe, highlighted here, contains the motor and premotor cortex. This is where motor planning originates, before routing through the basal ganglia, the cerebellum, and down the spinal cord. This pathway does not require pre-labeled training data to function. A human infant learns to move without a dataset of pre-categorized tokens. The motor system adapts to physical realities, gravity, friction, and resistance, through continuous trial and physical feedback. The fact that biological systems operate without pre-labeled data suggests the limitation lies in the architecture of the loop itself. Replicating this independence in an artificial system requires moving away from symbolic decoders and toward a closed-loop physical sensory-motor architecture. This is the objective of the Void Dynamics Model, or VDM. VDM attempts to achieve zero training cognition by taking neurobiological primitives and mapping them directly to mathematical generators. It translates biological requirements into a computable runtime. At the core of the system is void dent. Think of it as the internal dynamical pressure to maintain homeostasis. Just as physical systems follow the path of least action to resolve pressure gradients, VDM organizes its network to resolve the pressure of incoming stimuli. The VDM motor learning matrix defines a strict rule for this process. Output must consist of physical actuation driven by this internal det. It cannot perform a lexical retrieval function. It must fire an actuator. By requiring the system to generate physical actions to relieve internal pressure, VDM builds an architecture where intelligence develops without training labels, gated only by the physical results of its own output. Building this model starts at the point of contact. In biology, sensory receptors act as physical energy transducers, converting environmental forces into a format the nervous system can process. Consider the piezo channel in human touch receptors. When physical pressure hits the skin, it mechanically forces the channel to bend and open. That physical deformation allows ions to flow, converting mechanical pressure into an electrical action potential. VDM recreates this biological receptor with a mechanism called the UTD transduction matrix. This matrix maps the physical intensity of an incoming stimulus, delta Q, and converts it into a dissipative potential gradient, or delta M. That gradient flows into the broader neural lattice of the VDM runtime. The system responds to continuous, messy environmental inputs by absorbing their physical intensity, completely bypassing the need for symbolic tokens. As this gradient enters, a mechanism called the SIE valence signal evaluates it. This signal links the novelty of the incoming pressure to the system's entropy state, which in turn dictates the level of plasticity, or learning, the network requires to resolve it. This direct mapping of physical energy to mathematical potential is the first requirement for the system. An intelligence that operates without pre-labeled data must first be able to respond to the weight of its environment. But continuous sensory input introduces a risk known as the binding problem. If a system receives auditory, visual, and tactile inputs all at once, those simultaneous signals can merge. Without organization, the system would drown in an undifferentiated entropic soup. The biological solution is the thalamus and the thalamic reticular nucleus, or TRN. Together, they act as a hierarchical attentional gate, filtering out noise and allowing only critical sensory information to reach the cortex. VDM implements this filter through a component called the TRN inhibitory shell. The inhibitory shell relies on J of x, t priority logic. This logic acts as a valve, restricting the influx of the delta M signals. It dynamically blocks high-frequency noise to prevent the central lattice from saturating. By throttling the input, this feedback loop organizes chaotic environmental signals into synchronized pulses. It allows the system to process temporal codes accurately across multiple input modalities at once. Without this strict hierarchical gating, a physics-based cognitive substrate cannot maintain its coherence. It would rapidly collapse under the entropy of its own continuous sensory inputs. Processing the environment is only half the equation. This diagram maps the descending motor pathways, showing how the biological output system operates as a strict top-down hierarchy. The division of labor is precise. The prefrontal cortex handles the strategic planning of a movement, but the actual execution force originates here, in the primary motor cortex. You can plan a movement as complex as playing a piano concerto, but the execution of that plan must eventually funnel down into a final common path in the spinal cord. That final path is the alpha motor neuron. Every voluntary movement an organism makes is eventually routed through these specific cells. At the neuromuscular junction, the neuron releases the neurotransmitter acetylcholine. This chemical signal is the moment neural instruction translates into physical force, triggering the muscle fiber to contract. Biological intelligence is defined by this ability to translate abstract neural potentials into physical force via these hardwired motor unit pathways. This biological reality informs the most critical rule in the VDM framework. The Motor Learning Decoder Matrix Addendum establishes a primary mandate. The decoder must be abolished from the live authoring path. This is VDM Rule M26. Output must be expressed as control over a physical actuator manifold. The system does not output words, it controls physical degrees of freedom. Instead of choosing a discrete token from a list, the system outputs a continuous actuation vector. It generates a physical trace of movement. VDM Rule M31 further prohibits the use of external routine tables or pre-installed linguistic programs. The system receives no cheat sheets for how to act. To build motor routines, the network must rely entirely on its own emergent internal synergies. It learns to coordinate its actuators by using them. This leads to VDM Rule M29. Reafferent feedback is mandatory. The system is required to physically sense the consequences of the traces it emits. The universal temporal encoder, the input matrix we examined earlier, must expose the consequences of the system's actions back to the network as ordinary receptor events. Action generates physical feedback. Feedback generates learning. Deleting the decoder forces the AI to learn physical skills through genuine interaction. It cannot rely on statistical language patterns. It has to act, measure the physical consequence, and adjust. Emulating biology mathematically is difficult, and early versions of the VDM matrices contained a flaw. They assumed a linear motor trigger, and the mechanism for reporting physical errors back to the system was insufficiently detailed. To address the trigger flaw, VDM engineers integrated the nonlinear disinhibition logic found in the biological basal ganglia. The basal ganglia uses direct excitatory and indirect inhibitory pathways, acting as a selection gate that weighs motor strategies before firing. To fix error reporting, VDM adds cerebellar mechanisms. When a movement fails, climbing fibers send a discrete mismatch signal back to the network. In the VDM runtime, this mismatch signal provides the necessary trigger for structural plasticity. It allows the network to rewire itself based on physical failure, removing the need for artificial backpropagation. Integrating these specific subcortical loops addresses the functional requirements for autonomous, error-correcting intelligence. The model can now select an action and fine-tune its performance based on real-world results. These components converge in the final computational engine of the VDM I/O layer, the recursive servo mechanism. Before the system fires an action, it stores an efference copy, a predictive snapshot of its intended actuation vector, inside a transient memory buffer. The final physics gate occurs when the action is taken. The system compares the efference copy directly against the actual sensory feedback returning through the transduction matrix. The system calculates the delta between those two states using the divergence-norm. This equation mathematically quantifies how far the physical outcome deviated from the network's intended action. If the divergence norm exceeds a threshold, the connectome prunes itself. The synaptic weights causing the error dissolve and restructure to minimize future divergence. The pressure driving this continuous restructuring is void debt. The system alters its own architecture to maintain homeostasis against the friction of its environment. By adopting the functional logic of biological sensory motor loops, VDM creates an emergent intelligence governed by physical laws. It does not predict text, it interacts, measures the results, and adapts, sidestepping the need for symbolic decoders entirely.